He's Tony. I'm Mike. This is week 8 of the Action Bowl.
Week 8 of the Action Bowl has Thomas Jane, who drew Hunter's Moon, going up against Errol Flynn in the Seahawk. This is polar opposites going head to head.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about poor Thomas Jane.
Let's.
What's the matter with you? Come on. Spit it out.
Hunter's Moon is a story of a family that's moving into a house that apparently had been owned by a serial killer.
The old Ellsbury place.
Yeah, I guess that's the one.
You're moving into a serial killer's house and you're worried about your daughter smiling at
Why don't
you.
you shut your mouth, Billy?
And then them being stalked by some local townies in their new digs.
I was hoping you were going to stop by.
And they're creepy, trashy townies, and then it turns out that the creepy, trashy townies' dad is the sheriff.
I can't keep cleaning up after you guys. Blood or no blood?
No one ever asked you to, Dad.
Who's going to help hunt down the daughters and be bad.
If it's all right with you pinheads, I'd like to clean up this mess before it gets any worse.
And this movie sucks.
This thing is all over the place. Nobody in this movie makes a smart decision at all.
No.
And the choices that are made in this film just baffle me. It's like, I have no clue what whoever wrote this and directed this. Man, you have no idea what the fuck you are doing.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. A million times yes.
I mean, this is Tennessee Buck style fuckery.
Oh, it's worse. This makes Tennessee Buck look coherent.
Juliet, please, stop talking.
You're not wrong.
No, from the
wrong.
very first scene of this film where they pull up to the gas station and they get out and they're talking to the guy that runs the gas station and the creepy son is there hitting on the daughter.
Billy Bluefield, if you're gonna steal from me, at least make an attempt at being sneaky about it.
And she's all, tee-hee-hee, I like bad boys.
Juliet, let's go.
I'm still looking, Mom.
And it's like, okay, she's hot, but she looks 10 years older than her sisters. And they're all supposed to be like 16 or younger. And then on top of all that, they move into this house, and like the day they're like unloading the boxes and taking them into the house and getting everything set up, Mom and Dad apparently have to go away on a trip.
You guys leaving?
Yes. You girls be good for your sister.
We will, I promise.
Here, I left some money on the counter in case you guys need anything.
It's like, what the fuck? And then so they leave, and then the creepy, guy from the gas station and his two brothers show up.
What? It's just got a whole lot easier for us.
Nothing makes any sense in this film. It is like literally, there's no clear motivation by anybody. You know what's gonna happen. Like 15 minutes into this film, you're like, oh yeah, they're a family of werewolves.
We had to improvise a little bit. Get them separated outside so we could hunt.
Do you hear what you're saying? This is...
And oh yeah, they're gonna turn the tables on the bad people that they lured in. Oh yeah, Thomas Jane being their dad is the only surprise, and they, blew that early enough in the film to where it
Yeah.
has no consequence whatsoever.
It's so ridiculous. It's so stupid.
What do you think was the worst scene in the film?
Where the older daughter is making out with the obviously like psychotic brother.
Wait.
When it was kind of shown that she kind of at least maybe
Yeah.
had a little inkling of a thing for the guy that she met in the gas station.
Yeah.
Which doesn't that didn't make any sense to me. How they, when you obviously know that they're werewolves, like pretty early in the movie, but yet they still try to play it off like, are they not? Ooh, I don't know.
Jesus Christ! What the hell are you doing out here?
There's something out there.
You know, let's have the young girl go out there and scream, oh, we can't find her, and then she shows up later, and then the middle one disappears. Oh, what happened to her? And then she shows up later, and it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then when the parents show back up, you know, it's like, oh no, the kids are in danger. And they come back up like, oh, we knew you guys had it the whole entire time. We never had a doubt.
It's incredible.
I'm like, fuck you, movie.
No. I'm going to say I think the worst scene in this movie is when they decide that they're going to burn the house down, so they dump gasoline all over the place.
Are you serious? I just poured fucking gasoline over everything.
Okay. Got a better idea?
But then something's going on outside. Oh no! Well, let's go upstairs and do this. And then the teenage daughter decides she's going to light the house on fire. Yeah, and it's like you could have just gone upstairs and climbed out a window or something. You didn't need to burn the house to the ground.
Yeah, and you never told me that your plan entailed burning the house down, so guess we're even.
This movie is insultingly stupid.
You're right.
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck were Jay Moore and Thomas Jane, who did they owe money to? Who did they owe a favor to? Like, did they borrow from an Armenian mobster that was like, you're gonna do my movie, right? And I can't explain it. These are two talented actors, and the mom has been in a bunch of stuff too. The daughters, I have no idea who any of them are. The three guys, I have no idea who any of them are, and it doesn't matter. And they're all stupid, and I'm glad they're dead anyway. But
you knew that you're in trouble too. Like the second, like you could tell Jay Moore's just phoning this fucking shit in, like immediately.
Every
it's
time
like he has no interest in this script at all.
Every time he opened his mouth and he's trying to pull off that fucking, Dad Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver thing.
Julia, hey. Look, I know you're not happy about the move, but you have to trust me. This is what's best for our family.
And it's like, hey, girls, we're going to do this, and it's going to be swell. It's like, shut up. Just shut up. All right, Nikki Cox is at home. Go. Just get it out from off my TV. Just go the fuck away. Just, I hated this movie. I like literally, I sat through it and my teeth, I'm gritting my teeth and I'm just getting angrier and angrier and I'm going.
What's the matter with you? Come on. Spit it out.
Fuck you, Thomas Jane! How could you do this to me? This movie was
for
awful.
that matter, and Jay Moore and Amanda Weiss, or at least how I pronounce her name, who hasn't been in a movie in an eternity, but man, you don't need a paycheck that bad, girl.
Yeah,
I just hit a couple conventions for Nightmare on Elm Street and Better Off Dead and shit like that.
Yeah, there's nothing redeeming about this film. It's not even
not at all.
bad fun. It's just bad. And I hope our scores reflect it. I think you got an idea as to how completely disappointed we were in this. This is the antithesis of the Lucy Liu film. The Lucy Liu film was like way beyond our expectations and we had never heard of it. This is below our expectations.
All's well that ends well, right, Billy? I mean, I'm sure you can figure out all the rest of it now.
And we hadn't heard of it. So,
Yeah.
Mike, I want some hard, cold numbers. I want to talk. I want to see how generous you were feeling after you watched it.
Very, very generous. Very, very generous. Looking back on it now, this really should have been a much lower score, but at the time I was in a good mood, and little of the, certainly helps. So plot an undeserving 4. This really
Wow.
This should be a 2. But it is what it is. It's not egregious on the stuff you judged. Style is, again, I was being supremely generous as a 4. It really should be a 2. Entertainment is a 3. It should really be less than that. So I give it an extremely generous 11.
If you tuned into our last episode, you heard me say, when I love a movie, I really love a movie. And when I hate a movie, I really hate a movie.
Is this our first? I got a feeling it's going to be our first 3.
No, but you're not far off. It is, however, our lowest score for the Action Bowl. For the plot, I gave it a 3. It's dumb. It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea perverted into one of the dumbest scripts I have ever seen. None of the characters, except for the teenage daughter, are differentiated in any real meaningful way.
Yeah.
The longer I watched this film, the lower my score got. For the style, I gave it a 1. This movie is so unbelievably cheaply made and so unbelievably poorly assembled.
It's not shot well. It's not edited well.
It's simultaneously padded out and too long.
Yes.
Yes. And for the entertainment, I gave it a 1. I hated everything about this movie. The only reason that, I'm feeling even a little bit generous is because, man, at this point, I feel bad for Thomas Jane and Jay Moore. They must really owe somebody some money. So for me, it's a 5. 5.
Justifiable all day long.
So that's it for Hunter's Moon and the insult that Thomas Jane sent our way. Coming up next, Errol Flynn, the Seahawk. Stay tuned. Week 8 of the Action Bowl has some redeeming qualities, though, because Errol Flynn drew the Seahawk.
By now, you know the purpose of the Seahawks. In our own way, to serve England and the Queen.
It's well done. There's a lot of story
Yes.
in this.
Yes.
Because it covers the very uneasy truce with Spain and England.
Yeah.
Should England attempt to vie in sea power, it may cost her the friendship of Spain.
I believe my lord values too highly something which doesn't exist.
Where you got Philip, building up his armada.
Yep.
And the Queen is
Elizabeth
is being very naive.
Yes.
Let me be clear, Wolfingham. My reason for refusing to build a fleet is to spare the purses of my subjects, not the feelings of Philip.
Yes.
And this Philip wouldn't do that, la 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 la, and there's all sorts of intrigue and scandal and
really well portrayed too.
Very well
and then
portrayed.
this is all done against the backdrop of we have Errol Flynn's character, which is Captain
Captain Thorpe begs an immediate audience, Your Grace.
Admit him.
I don't remember.
We have Errol Flynn's character, and then we have his love interest, who is a lady in waiting, he's being sent from the Spanish court to serve under Queen Elizabeth, and so she's very, yay Spain at the beginning of the film, and then when she actually sees the differences between how prisoners are treated and how things are dealt with within the different systems at this time, she takes a shine to the British way of doing things.
It's 4 years, sir, since I trod the deck of an English ship, sir.
Well, you'll soon be in England now. Now, come along, all of you. And I'll see you all catch up with your rum rations.
Now, here's an interesting tidbit about this. There is a 1924 version of the Seahawk that is based on a novel on that. And now that original version is very faithful to the source material. This actually threw out the source material. They kept the name.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. But then they kind of adapted the life of Francis Drake, and that's actually what we know as the Seahawk with Errol Flynn, 1940.
Okay.
The reason for that is because Captain Blood was essentially the Seahawk, but not really, and that was done before this film.
Okay.
So they didn't want to just remake it. They wanted to do another swashbuckler because Captain Blood was a huge hit for them, but they wanted to crank it up to 11 and really show what they could do. And this script, I never would have guessed that this was like made specifically for the film. This feels like an epic novel. This feels like Master and Commander and those sort of things. Errol Flynn is supremely watchable in this.
I must ask you to remain my prisoner.
Under protest, Captain Thorpe.
So you know my name?
He's charming. He's likable. He's commanding, and the action sequences are spectacular.
The scenes where they're taking the boat, the ship battles are good. The stuff on land doesn't hold up near as well as the ship battles.
No,
The stuff
no.
where they're trudging through the swamp was a slog.
It was a bit of a slog, but the ambush in the swamp was really good, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that was well executed. Everything after that though was a slog. But I mean, that's a nitpick.
Yeah.
By comparison, I think the surprise performance for me was the woman that played Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Did a great job in that performance because she's the queen. She's not the king or nothing like that, but she's still very commanding.
Reprisals, Lord Wolfingham, are not piratical acts. Last year, did not King Philip confiscate 12 English ships loaded with grain in Spanish ports?
And you believe that she commands and rules, the British Empire.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And she playing second fiddle to the Spanish because this is the time of the Spanish Armada, and the...
well, it's before the Spanish Armada.
The Spanish Armada was on the way. Yeah, they're building
Yeah.
up to it. But the other thing that I really dug about this is a stylistic choice, is that you have the beginning segment of the film that's set in the open sea and on the other side of the world that's done in black and white. When they get to the new world, that's all shot in sepia tones. So there's that color grading difference.
Might give them a hail, Mr. Scott. We'll need their help when we get there.
Ahoy there!
This was a creative decision that was made to demonstrate that, this is the part that was done in the new world.
I didn't like that style choice.
Yeah?
And I'm glad that you pointed that out because I noticed the difference in certain scenes. It's like, why is that like that? Did they shoot in different film?
Yeah,
or something like
it's different film stock, but different film colors. But that's
I didn't like
the why.
I didn't like that style choice.
This deserved to be shot in Technicolor.
Yes, all day long.
Yeah, and
Yes.
this won the Academy Award for special effects because all those boat battles were miniatures. Which is kind of staggering. Yeah.
Really?
That's how convincing those shots were. Because literally, there are some shots in this that are mind-bogglingly good. They're every bit as good as anything you saw in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
And this holds up in that same vein. It's as fun to watch with a bit more political intrigue. It's a bit more grown-up version, and it's grounded, unlike the supernatural elements that they introduce into the Pirates of the Caribbean films. So if you're a fan of those films, by all means, check this out. You will not be disappointed. It has all the crazy sword fighting. It has all the intrigue. It has all the characters. It has the romance.
When I saw you first, I thought you were like a statue. Beautiful but cold.
Then I watched you when you saw the slaves, and the statue seemed to come to life.
Yeah.
It's kind of a perfect swashbuckler.
Almost.
Almost. So
it comes very close. I mean, for a movie of this time, it's immensely entertaining and watchable and fun, and with some depth to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now I don't know how accurate the historical timeline is or anything like that. That's not my forte, but I buy every bit of it.
I'm gonna say it is accurate. There is some definite real history that goes on within this, but I'm also gonna say that this film was made specifically to be a propaganda film for two audiences. One, it was intended to bolster the British, because the British were already involved in World War II, and it was supposed to basically, get them rip roaring and, hey, we can take on anybody and we can make it, we can survive this.
Secret dispatches from Philip to Wolfringham. Proof of their plans to send an armada against England.
But it was also intended to make American audiences sympathetic to the British and want to basically back them at the very early stage of World War II. So
I buy that, especially with the portrayal of how the British treat their prisoners as opposed to how the Spanish treat their prisoners. That was very on the nose.
It was very on the nose, and I'm going to say that one of my favorite sequences in this film is when, after Errol Flynn and his entire crew basically have, been tried, found guilty of being privateers and stealing from the Spanish government, which is what privateers do. They're basically, pirates for the British crown. But they get turned into oarsmen on the ship, and the whole escape sequence. It's so good.
Very well
so good. I was so like, get him, Errol. So I was rooting for him. And then when they actually, managed to escape and make their way back to England, and he has the papers that actually prove that the Spanish are moving against the British and are attempting to basically, basically overthrow the English crown and try to take everything over. I loved all that last sword fight with the captain is spectacularly good. I love the fact that as he's fighting, he's cutting the candles down so that it's dark and it's harder to see him. I was just so thrilled with this film. Like, of all the last films to watch to go out on round one of the Action Bowl, this was the perfect finishing touch. And this proves why these older action stars deserve to be in the Action Bowl this season.
Yes, absolutely. My other small little nitpick is the love interest.
Yeah.
While she's cute.
She's fine, but she's no Olivia de Havilland. Because Olivia de Havilland and Captain Blood, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah. So she's lacking there, and she didn't really elevate the material that was in front of her. I know she didn't have a whole hell of a lot, but that's the difference between a good actress and a great actress. A great actress can take mediocre material and make it like just Shakespeare.
I completely agree with you there. She is by far the weakest link in this. In a film filled with stellar performances, she was the one that was just there.
Yes, exactly.
But I got it. You said near perfect. I want to hear those scores.
Okay. So you know me, I don't just hand out fucking
I know.
super great scores. So plot's a 7. I mean, it's a story of intrigue from beginning to end. There's a lot of twists and turns. Very well done. Style is a 6. Looking back on it, for that time, it should be a 7.
Yeah.
But I scored it what I scored. It's a 6. All right. Entertainment. This should have been higher. This really should have been a 7 also. But I gave it a 6. But it's still a 19, which for me, I don't dish out
no, you
19s and stuff like that, like candy. So this is a good score.
I'm just going to say, for the plot, I gave it a 7. It is a well-written, easy to follow. For everything that's going on in this film, in the hands of a lesser screenplay, it would have been so easy to be like, well, that's Errol Flynn. I don't know who the hell the rest of these people are. You're never confused.
No.
It's supremely well done. For the style, I gave it an 8. Again, those sea battles
absolutely.
are spectacularly good. And I was kind of like, wow, those were big model boats. Those were not like, they didn't like build 2 ships and beat the shit out of each other. Nope, all done on sound stages, all done in a water tank, all done with models. I'm blown away by that. For the entertainment, I gave it a 7. I was supremely entertained, and this is not a short movie. It comes in like right past the 2-hour mark on that one, but I was riveted the entire time. So for me, I gave this a 22.
So we're not far off at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. So coming up next, our scoring and the results for this week. Stay tuned.
Captain Thorpe, this is an insult to His Majesty. I board your ship under protest.
At least you'll find English hospitality better than they found Spanish.
So week 8, the final matchup of round 1, Errol Flynn in the Seahawk going up against Thomas Jane in Hunter's Moon. Thomas Jane, Hunter's Moon, you gave it an 11. How? I think he sent you a check. I gave it a 5, so that gives us an average score of 8. And I think that's too high. Errol Flynn, the Seahawk, you gave it a 19, and you feel bad about not scoring it higher. I gave it a 22, and I kind of feel bad about not scoring it higher. But that gives us an average score of 20.5. So Errol Flynn is our winner. He is moving on into round 2 of the Action Bowl. Thomas Jane is getting a free trip to the Action Bowl of Shame. Richly deserved, sir. Let him have it, Mike.
I got no cool pun lines, so here we go.
I was just gonna say he played the Punisher 3 times.
That works. That works.
So coming up next, our drawing for round 2, week 9 of the Action Bowl. Stay tuned. Week 9 of the Action Bowl has Vin Diesel facing off against Harrison Ford in our first matchup of round 2. Mike is going to be drawing for Harrison Ford. I will be drawing for Vin Diesel.
Does Harrison Ford have a bad movie?
Oh, yeah.
Does he?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll find out right here. Let's see what we get. Well,
I think you found it.
K-19, the Widowmaker. Now, if I remember correctly, this is a film about a clapped-out Soviet nuclear sub, right? And all the
Crimson Tide
and it falling apart.
Hunt for Red October and this, yeah. Look, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I've never seen it before because I didn't give a fuck. Let's see what Vin is bringing to the table. Vin still has some juice in the jar. I want that one. I want that one in the very back. There we go. All right. So, is he diesel powered? Let's find out. A Man Apart.
Is this supposed to be like a serious cop drama or some shit like that?
I know that it's got a poster of Vin Diesel. He's walking towards us with a long shadow. That's what I know about this movie.
Okay.
I can't wait to find out who sucks harder.
Well, I know this. I'm probably not going to be giving Widowmaker all the greatest scores. So, I mean, it could be anybody's game on this one. I have no idea.
Join us for week 9, or what we'd like to call the train wreck. That'll be coming up next week.
So join us for round 2, week 9, where we have Vin Diesel in A Man Apart versus Harrison Ford in K-19, The Widowmaker.
We will see you then.